Okay, if you're just tuning in, this is Galaxy Television, and the program is Democracy and the Rule of Law, and I'm still on with the barrister Samuel Ame and Shakiru Omolaja here. So to the next topic, where something strange happened in the Igangan community. We've talked a lot about that community where they have been ravaged by herders and farmers clashes for months, and then there was another invasion that looked like unknown gunmen, and then in a rather strange twist, the Nigerian Customs Service came out to declare that they were the one that raided the community under the guise that the community is harboring what is that word now? Smugglers, exactly, you know, harboring smugglers. And now the big question is, what is the relationship between customs service and that community, especially putting it in mind that that community have suffered a lot in terms of invasion. Would they have done it in a softer way? And this is not the first time, you know, Nigerian Customs Service raided before now. They've raided markets under rice being imported, you know, to illegally imported in these markets. Now, I have someone joining us to speak on that, talking about Wale or Ladokun. He's the president, Igangan Development Advocate, will be giving us his take on that. Before we in the studio do our own analysis, we're going to be hearing from him. So Wale or Ladokun, I don't know if you can hear me. It is good to see you on Democracy and the Rule of Law. Can you just quickly give us a take on what happened in Igangan community on that said day when the custom officers raided the community?
All right, thank you very much for having me on this program. I'm glad to be here. Now, briefly, I will just highlight the incident that happened this way. Now, the background to this story started during the recent onslaught that was launched at Igangan community. And when the onslaught took place and claimed a lot of lives, properties were damaged, houses were razed down by fire, and even the Kabiesi, the Oba Asigogon's palace, was razed down by an inferno, you know, which was caused by these people that are criminal. Now, having said that, then this prepared the background to the security situation of the Igangan people, which of course, you know, necessitated the fact that the people had to now look inward to see how they can secure themselves, since the government had failed them, just like it was confirmed by Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde, the Oyo State Governor, that they have failed the people. So now, because of that, vigilantes volunteered to begin to secure the four walls, the four corners of Igangan. And on this fateful evening or night, what just happened was that some men dressed in custom uniforms, but without the full paraphernalia of the authority of custom. By this, I mean that if you have such an operation that will cost lives, such as it did in Igangan, then we should know at the very first sight of those people coming in to show us that these are men of the government. One, apart from their uniform, the van, the vehicle, or the pickup or truck they used, of course, you have the the customized logo and name of custom inscribed on the van. But this was not the case. Outside the uniform, outside the custom uniform, nothing else showed that they were custom officers outside. Now, and as you know, the hood alone cannot make the monk. The hood alone cannot make the monk. Now, by their act, we also will be able to define them as criminals. Because as they enter the town via the outskirts of the town, which is AUD and Sarudin area, they opened fire at the security, the vigilante that were trying to mount, surveillance around that area. They opened fire. They were face to face with him. That one was questioning them. What's your mission? What are you here for? And they were at close range. If they truly were there to arrest, and they were within that range of somebody who is just a single person, and then you open fire on him, you started shooting the guy, and the shots were not penetrating, and then you decided to go close and you shot him at the private region, the private part, so as to ensure that he was murdered. This is intentional. This is deliberate. This cannot be under the ambit of arrest, and it doesn't follow the due process, by law, of the routine of security in issuing arrests. If you want to arrest somebody, you arrest and then take him to go and face the law. You don't shoot at sight. So after this was done, as they were doing this, of course, as they were raining down the gun on this guy, other vigilantes, had to rally around. They called themselves, and then they trooped in their numbers to that place where the incident was happening. And so when they saw that, the force they met was going to outpower them, outrun them, they turned back and they started fleeing. As they were fleeing, those ones were chasing them. They got to Ayete, which is a neighboring town to Igangan. Remember, we have 7 Ibarapa towns. So Ayete is one of them, Igangan is one of them. But after Igangan, as they were going back, they got to Ayete and they shot. While they were shooting just sporadically, they shot at a woman, an innocent woman, and they killed that woman. They also proceeded and they were running to Igboora. And then they got to Igboora. The Amotekun command there, mounted a roadblock. And the commander of the Amotekun Igboora division was asking questions that, okay, who are you people? Where are you coming from? And they opened fire on the commander. Commander of Amotekun attacked. They opened fire, they killed the man, they slaughtered him mercilessly. Now, and then they took to they entered their van again. Remember, the van they brought was a privately owned van. It was not branded at all. So if you are on such operation and you are not using branded vehicle, as many as we have branded vehicles for customs, I see them in their thousands. So, and they left after that heinous act. Now, from your own definition, do you describe that, sir? I'm throwing the question back at you. Do you describe that as an arrest? Do you describe that as, an attempt to arrest smugglers? And then if you say you are chasing smugglers, who are the chasers?
I know how you feel. It's a very sound development. But from what you were saying, and of course the customs officers have come out to say they were the one that raided our community. But it looks like you don't believe they were legitimate customs service. So what is your theory? What do you think was going on there?
Now, the veracity of that claim is zero. The veracity of the claim is zero. And if they still maintain that standpoint that they are the customs and they are not mercenaries under whatever name or caption, now they should bring out their list. They should publish their names in the national dailies. These are the people, these were the people that went on operation, and then this were what they did, and all of that. Publish their names, arrest them. They have killed, they have massacred people. Innocent lives were lost. Let them be prosecuted. They are not above the law. Look, if we are saying there must be peace, then there must be justice. If we are saying there must be peace, and you are praying for peace, you are suing for peace, then please, please and please, follow justice. Follow equitable, distribution of power. Follow due process. There is no due process in what they have come to do. You cannot, you cannot cut a head. You can't say that cutting a head is the cure for headache. How do you justify that? You can't cut a head and say that's the cure for headache. Now, you came. Now, my own suspicion because there's a foul play there. There's a foul play. If they had come and succeeded in doing whatever mission or operation they have come, it's a covert operation. There is no doubt about it. It was a covert and an illegal operation. No doubt about it. Because the custom should have informed, the command there, and the command should have informed the division there, that, okay, they are after some smugglers, and due process should have been followed. The security routine towards this kind of action should have been followed. That was absent. Now, if all those were absent, it gives room for doubt. It gives room for, deniability. So if the people are now saying, no, we do not see them as customs, especially if pitched at the background of the fact that this community just suffered a fatal blow, recently by the massacre that took place there only in the month of June. So what are we saying? Now, if you are saying they are customs, and then if you read the news very well, they said that the customs were trying to arrest smugglers in Iguora. They never mentioned it. Why that gap? That very, very wide lacuna. Why? It's deliberate. They didn't mention Igangan. They mentioned Iguora because an Amotekun commander was involved. And directly or indirectly, an Amotekun commander is linked to the government because they are working hand in hand with the police. And so if a chick is now eating another chick, then there's a problem. And that's why they have to come out and say, oh, we are the ones who
I'm afraid that this is where we will stop you. We just wanted to get a background information of what happened there, so we'll know how to discuss that here in the studio with the legal practitioners that I have. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Wale Oladokun, the President, Igangan Development Advocate. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on your program. It will be a pleasure another time. Okay, thank you.
You've heard him. Let me just, what do you say? Because I don't even know where to start from. It is a very sad scenario indeed, and a lot of conspiracy theory going on here. But let me hear what you have to say about that.
Well, first and foremost, the Nigerian custom is an establishment of the federal government, and is being controlled by the federal government. And the constitution, the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has prescribed their duties and responsibilities. And I don't think there's a provision in the constitution that gives the custom the power to raid a community in the name of that community harboring smugglers. There is no correlation in that excuse which led to the raiding and killings of the Igongo community, or is it Igbora? Igbora. So when you look at it from this perspective, you begin to wonder, are these customs, and if they are Nigerian custom, who gave them the order? Because there's a modus operandi in the chain, in the hierarchy of operations in every government agency or parastatals. So there must be an order from the above or from the team that led these operations. Now, what the government ought to have done in this matter is not just to admit that, well, is a custom that took out the raiding or the operations, and the reasons being that the communities are harboring smugglers. That is not enough. I expected the government to wake up to its responsibilities and say, this thing, you have gone beyond your constitutional duties or rules, and then this is where you ought to have started and stopped. Why did you go further, killing okay, where are the smugglers? At the end of the operations, were they able to lay their hands on any of the smugglers which they claim to to be chasing after. And in the first place, let us even look at the justification of the killing. If the community had prevented them from coming in, since they allege that the communities are harboring the smugglers, if there were a kind of hindrance against their coming into the community to make this arrest, it would have been a different ballgame. The community did not attack them. They only asked them questions, more so that their coming in looks suspicious, because I know that anywhere custom are passing, you will see their brand, the plate number, the branding logo on the vehicle. So there was no any official information or anything to show that these people are coming. So the security outfit of the community have the right to ask, please identify yourself. Okay, we are men of the Nigerian custom. This is what we have come to do. Okay, pass. But were they prevented? What led to the killing? So I don't think there's any justification from whatever authority that has okayed this operation.
Well, let me hear your theory there. Now, do you think there are really men of Nigerian Customs Service or hoodlums disguised? You know, to me, from my investigations and findings, I find it difficult to believe that the Nigerian customs, they are the real customs employed by the federal government to carry out the duties of which they came in the name carry
of
out that
to carry out.
Which begs another question now. Why would the Nigerian customs come?
I think no.
Okay.
No, you are missing one important point. After the uproar that was raised over the attack, the spokesman of the Nigerian customs in Lagos, I think they call it the one or whatever, said our men carried out the attack. So that rules out whether they were regular custom men or they were hired killers or mercenaries. Nigerian customs has taken responsibility for the attack. That rules that out.
And if now, from the other theories now, if there were really Nigerian customs, then they would have taken proper procedure.
That is exactly what we are discussing. That is the purpose of this, our national discourse. Was there proper procedure? It further points out to the fact that Nigeria is under siege. Remember, why did Amotekun emerge like Igboho emerged? Amotekun emerged because the people of the Southwest saw pregnantly that they had been abandoned. The daughter of Parafa Soroti, Mr. Olakumi, was murdered in broad daylight. So many other crimes have been committed. Yet, you were pushing the theory forever that Nigeria shall be tied down to the impossibility, to the embarrassment, to the great injustice of only one police structure for the country called Nigeria, over 200 million people. So, our governors at last woke up. That we've been pushing for state police. You are denying us. Okay, don't worry. Even though we have placed the issue of security and policing, unfortunately, wrongly, illegally, on the exclusive legislative list, we shall provide security for our people. Just like Lagos State started with last man. Traffic control in Lagos State was impossible. The federal policemen were just busy collecting money and everything. Last man today is doing a wonderful job in moving traffic in Lagos. It's not perfect, but they're giving service. So Amotekun emerged in answer to the great insecurity that was bedeviling the Southwest. Remember, the Southeast has also copied the Amotekun platform or idea. Now, these people who came in, there's one vital thing again that gentleman, Mr. Oladokun, should have given to us, and he spoke very well. I respect his courage and I respect his diction. He spoke to the issue very well. He knows the subject matter. He did not tell Nigerians. He did not tell you and I that look at Ignora, Igogo, Ibarapa, and this other place that he mentioned. I tell you or whatever. These places are not border towns. They are not Idiroko. They are not Badagry. They are far away from the borders. So before customs men could pass the borders in those areas to now enter into these areas, who sent them is the question we should be asking. There might be regular customs men, but were they actually acting in the interest of the Nigerian state, or they were higher killers who had infiltrated the customs? Of all places, why Igogo again? Igogo that have been attacked the first time, the second time, the third time, and the people in Igogo have now become helpless. If there was nothing more than what we are seeing, if it was not that people were deliberately sent there to go and further teach the people of Igogo and the Barapa a lesson, not to challenge the Fulani men. Look at this theory. The Amoteku operatives should be working in collaboration, like they are already working in collaboration with Nigerian police. If we were going after smugglers away from border towns, these areas were not border towns. If we are going to enter their areas, did you discuss with the commissioner of police in that state, or the area commander in that place, or the divisional police officers in those places? Did you discuss with the owner of the place? To whom did you give information that you were coming to the towns? Another vital information that was given to us, that Nigeria should begin to wonder, why is this happening to us? Why are we abandoned? Why is our security so compromised? They said the vehicles that were brought were not the regular customs operational vehicles.
Which is the big comma there, the big question mark to ask the legitimacy of the customs of
the exercise. No.
Okay.
I keep saying, customs haven't come out to say they are our men. We cannot further question that. Okay. Except they are saying that the man who came out is not representing customs. So I'm willing to work with the theory that having claimed it, we cannot argue that. But we cannot claim your motive, your theory. Remember, in organizations, you do have saboteurs. You have blacklegs. Okay. In the Nigerian army, you have men of the Nigerian army who are selling intelligence to Boko Haram, to bandits. So how are we sure that my learned friend they asked, after these murderous attacks, after this most unfortunate development, did you at the end of the day, after you have killed innocent persons, did you arrest the so-called smugglers that you went after? It only boils down to one thing. There's insecurity in Nigeria.
Now there's another theory there, that there is a larger cover-up here. You know, that the men may not be customs officers.
No, you keep pushing that. You keep pushing that. And I say no. You cannot push that. Customs are saying
my job
there were men.
My job here is to bring out all languages.
Yes, not that about what's going on. But you also listen to me.
You also
listen to me.
Okay.
It's like you are saying there was an attack by so-called policemen in the part of Lagos. And then the commissioner of police, Akim Odumusu, comes out to say, those men you saw at Yanopada and Oshodi involved in social operations, they are regular men of the Nigerian police. Now, we need something far higher than mere allegations and suspicions to debunk what the commissioner of police in the state has said. For he should know. And he having said that, you should be working with that. But you can question the loyalty, the motive, the intention of what operations they carried out. Now, the question we can ask the man, because in fact it follows that if he's saying that they are men, it means customs at that level knew about the operation. If they knew about the operation, then the question Nigerians should ask, and which Nigerians are asking, is how fair is it? Is it not? Look at how the 6 governors in the Southwest came out and said, after the second Igangan attack, why are you humiliating us this way? That was on the occasion when Governor Seyi Makinde had the courage to visit Igangan and said to them patriotically, we are sorry, we failed you.
Okay, now let me ask as the people of Igangan here, let's look at the other theory. Just be patient, let me finish. Well, is it possible, or rather, is it not possible that these men are really not of Nigerian Customs Service? Then, as a means of a cover-up here, somebody called the custom officer and said, okay, look, this is the real thing that's going on, but let's have this cover-up claim that these men are men of the Nigerian customs. Isn't that possible?
See,
because that's the bigger theory there.
Yes.
You know, from the
you have a reason for pushing this and insisting on resolving this. Out of if after all they are not Nigerian men, but don't forget, please, the man who should know, the spokesperson, like we have Umbu speaking for the police, and he parades suspects. The man, the spokesperson in the region says they are our men. Either he was asked to do that, by way of cover up or whatever, will now be explaining the motive. That some persons are now using bandits, criminals, to infiltrate or to commit crimes against the people of Nigeria. Specifically now, the people of some people in Oyo State, Ibarapa, Igogo, Yete, and this Igboora. But I am also insisting that the customs haven't officially taken responsibility. We cannot say the customs knows nothing about this.
Okay, let's round up here with Barrister Samuel Ame. You wanted to say something
yes,
as we round up.
Now, if the Nigerian custom have the spokesperson of the Nigerian custom has actually come out to admit, then the law should take its course. The person that gave the order, the team that carried out the operation should be prosecuted.
We will do the prosecution because it looks like
That
the whole
is
thing
where
has
the
died
government
down.
has to
This
wake up
happened
to its
over a week ago.
responsibilities. The government must wake up to its responsibilities. If at all justice and peace must reign in this country, and these are the reasons why people are agitating, people are angry, people are not happy. You know, the government owes us a lot, and between you and I, you know that there's an institutional failure at all levels, both security-wise and political-wise.
Unfortunately,
Let's just give this advice to the people of Igangan.
Okay.
They are not helpless. Their leaders should contact brilliant lawyers in the area. They should file for the fundamental human rights against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And you can be sure the case will be a success. For those who have been killed, injured, maimed, they should file for the enforcement of fundamental human rights, and reprieve will be given to them.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I wish we can talk more on this because this is a very huge human angle, you know, story here. But thank you so much for your time, Barrister Samuel Ame and Barrister Shakiru Omolaja. Thank you. We hope to see
for having
more
us.
of you
Thank you
on
very
this
much.
program. Next week Sunday is another day on Galaxy Television. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Join us again next time on the station, 1 o'clock. I'm Solomon Offen. Good afternoon.